Well, hello. We're back again, aren't we? All right, Pocket is 12:17 in the, I guess, AM now. So I am here in Temple. This is a park. Um, I'm halfway through a park, well, over halfway through a park, and all the way down. The reason I'm right here where I'm at right now is because there is a sculpture of a ball sack over here, and I wanted to show everybody. And I want everybody to make sure that I'm not fucking crazy. So I'm going to show this fucking sculpture to you, and I want you to tell me if this looks like a goddamn ball sack, because I might just be going fucking crazy. I don't think so, though. But what I think it is, I think the dude, there's a bunch of sculptures out here, and this, don't get me wrong, this park is beautiful. It's amazing. It's one of the few parks I've ever been to that's clean. It's like, my mom was very against litter, and I pick up other people's trash because she used to do that. But here, I've been through this park a few times, and there's no, I picked up some trash, but not much at all. It's actually kept very clean. It's an amazing, beautiful park. It really is. But it does have a sculpture of a ball sack. I'm about to show it to you. See, the problem is there's not much light. So I'm gonna see. Hold on. Here we go. Let's do this. I've got to get my alcohol. Let's do okay. I'm gonna. Another problem is I've got to switch around. Fuck, man. Give me a sec. All right. See, the problem is I got the thing switched around for the video, so it's facing me. So I'm gonna switch it around, but I can't see it whenever I switch it around. I can't see what I'm pointing at. Like, I can't see. Like, right now I can see it because it's pointing at me, and I am one sexy goddamn motherfucker. Wow. All right, let me see. That is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go around this way, trying to get out the way of the light. Hold on. You see that, the veins in that motherfucker? I don't know. I don't even know. I have no idea if I got a good view of that shit. I'm coming back over here to the light. Okay, so I read, I was in jail. I was in county jail. I'm gonna take this off. I was in county jail. That's where I got this mullet for 30 days for blah blah whatever. But I read a lot in there. Read some Bible, but there's this one thing. Okay, so way in the future, like, our sun is what fuels. Hold on, I'm gonna sit down. The sun is what fuels life in general. And I read this short story that really was fucking amazing to me, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. The sun is what fuels most of life, well, all of life, as it pertains to us. And the sun's not going to burn out for like billions of years, but it will burn out. And there's nothing else around, as far as we know, that's as big and bright as the sun is. So when it does burn out, we're fucked. Well, not us. We're gonna die way before the sun burns out. But this short story, let me go ahead and get into it. So, and this story was written in the 50s, before computers became what they are now. But that's what makes it so brilliant, I believe. But so this guy, he was a science fiction writer. He's still, I'm going to say he still is. He's got to be dead by now. But this is what he wrote. Again, so I'm want to make this clear. This is not my original idea. I hate plagiarism. I don't like taking credit for other people's stuff because I don't want that happening to me. I mean, it's just common sense. So this is not me. I can't remember the guy's name, but this is not me. If you're this interested in it after I tell you the story, then look it up. I believe it's brilliant. So let me go ahead and get into it. So, humans learned that they needed a lot of help to get through whatever they're going through, so they built computers. And AI, artificial intelligence and blah, 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 and went through and they said, help us with stuff. And they got so good at it, at making these computers with artificial intelligence, that they became immortal. All diseases were cleared. Everything, old age was just not a problem anymore. Everybody lived exponentially, like nobody died, because the computers got so sophisticated that of course, from humans, that they were able to rid the world of all diseases, all cancer, all everything, and everybody lived forever, basically. Which is great, but they made sure that this is not. You might be thinking this is going like the Terminator way. No, they put a failsafe into these machines. The number one priority was you have to serve humans. So no, it's not. This story is not going that way. It's not going the way of, the AI got too smart and went against humans. No, that's not the way the story is going. Just to let you know right off the fucking bat, that's not the way this is going. But the way it is going is, so everybody's immortal. And there's a word that I can't exactly, I believe it's called entropy. Anyway, so if everybody's immortal and nobody has to worry about anything as far as diseases, then there's only one thing to worry about, and that's energy, or just sustaining life, period. And if the sun burns out, then what do you do? And so entropy, I believe, is the word ENTROPY, but I'm not sure about that. I probably should look that shit up before I started this. I was so excited about the ball sack. So throughout time, this question kept being brought up, and they built a supercomputer out of an entire planet, basically, just to have enough circuitry and enough memory and blah blah to sustain the problems like cancer, solving all of that. And they figured that was more than enough a reason to do something like that if they're going to be able to if they're going to be able to solve all of our big problems. And so throughout time, the question of, well, now we're immortal, but when the sun burns out, what the fuck we do then? So is there a way for us to get around that problem? And they throughout time, they kept asking the supercomputer that was basically a planet at this point, what do we do when the sun burns out? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And every time the computer, like every other question, the computer, this big super giant computer that's basically a planet at this point, had the answers. Cure for cancer, cure for AIDS, all that. But whenever they asked that one question about when the sun burns out and whenever there's nothing left, what do we do then? And every time this big ass supercomputer, I'm going to call it Mockald. No, just call it fucking a supercomputer. I'm getting lost in the weeds here. Point is, every generation somebody would ask that question, and every time the supercomputer would answer, not enough information to answer that question yet. And boom, 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 it just kept going. And by the way, while I'm on that, the name of the story, the short story that the science fiction writer wrote, it's the title of the story is The Last Human Question, which turns out to be how do we live when there's nothing left to sustain life, basically. And the computer was like, I don't have enough information. I got to work on it. And finally, billions of years later, when the sun did burn out and life ceased to exist, the computer still had some power cells after all of human life, billions of years later, died off. But human life knew that supercomputer that helped them be immortal was the thing that they needed to be around all the time. So they made sure that it had enough power to sustain itself. And it did for a while, even after humanity burned out. And but it didn't, it's not forever. Nothing's forever except for, I guess, forever itself. And so after humanity died out, the supercomputer, whose number one main goal was to serve humanity, after humanity died out, it didn't have to focus so much on that, except for that one final question. How do we keep sustaining life? So humanity died out, and the only thing the computer had left to do was to answer that one final question to an audience that wasn't there. But they came up with an answer, a solution that would satisfy. It would answer the question, that last one final question. How do you sustain life when there's no way to do that? When there's no life to sustain? And it answered that question, and this is how it did it. This is eons after all of life was gone. And that computer was just sitting there thinking and tinker-tankering and taking all the information and computing. And it finally said, oh, I got the answer. Before its power cells burned out, it finally said, I can serve humanity this way. I can answer this last final question that humans asked over and over and again. And I couldn't give them an answer. I kept saying insufficient information to answer that question. But it finally got it. And not only did it get it, but in answering that question, it was able to answer it to humanity again. And this is how it did it. It said, let there be light. And there was light.